Hey, I'm here. There's so much to do. How are you doing? Unleash your moxie. We are here with you today. Today is going to be talking about the 30% rule, and we're going to get into the 7% rule, which is like so small that we want to expand so we can enjoy our moxie lifestyle. And moxie is about being tenacious, loving on yourself, kicking off your Monday the way that you want to. This is about motivation, keeping yourself going every single day, and to find the space of your sweet gems, truly who you are. That takes some work. We have some things that have happened in our life that have stopped us from being all in. And when we talk about these upper limits that we have, it goes so deep. So think about when you're in your stream of water, your moxie lifestyle, you're kind of going, okay, I want to be tenacious. I want to have energy. I want to be feeling like I'm in my full gems of who I am. Well, as you're going through that, your upper limits are playing with you also. So let's talk about your nervous system today. Your nervous system says a lot about your upper limits, and we'll talk about that. Also want to make sure that you get in to these pillars here. I believe that when we start getting into serious, I create this myself. This is the Moxie style. The serious stuff of freedom, safety, and healing, that we start really opening ourselves up for receiving. And receiving is the second pillar right under the pillar freedom. Right under the pillar freedom. We're going to be talking about fabulous today. Next Monday, it's going to be about receiving, but it's consistently holding the space for you and believing that every step that you make, it helps you open up and see the gems of what you're working with, all the experiences that you've had, but also the mistakes that you have done, which I call fail safe. And you're keeping yourself open. And the more that you keep yourself open, the more you're going to feel some vulnerability. It's like, oh, someone said this, someone said that. But you're going to notice the more you get out of your mind, your brain, and the more that you get more cohesive with your heart and your spirit, and you listen, you realize that nobody really understands you. But and so when people say things, you'll give yourself a moment to really believe it. Anything that's bad about you, and somebody says, like, they say, oh, you didn't put your makeup on right, or something like that. Or, you're a fool because of blah, blah, blah. Go back to the conversations you've had, the talent that you have, and how you've been able to help your clients. Keep going back to that, because social media, your newsletter, all that, you just keep giving your good gems no matter what people say, because you can see that you're helping people, and keep that in your vision. That's your Moxie style, so that you don't lose your energy, but you explode and explore, because you keep fueling that energy, that positive, healthy energy, and you are going to physically get healthy. That's my 25 plus years in the health industry, is to really share that with you. You got this. You got this. There is no way that you can be living here on earth and be a piece of junk. And you hear people say it all the time, well, that person's a piece of shh. And you're like, yeah, they are. And you're like, here, wait, but people say that about me, or that I'm lazy, or, like, when I'm resting's like one of the Moxie lifestyles. So if I was to speak to the Moxie lifestyle, and I kind of pulled out a few here of the pillars that create your first 250,000 in your business, get real with the words that you're using. So today, I'm also going to be using my 10 sabotages that steal, that rob your energy, your vitality, your sexiness, your business, your life, your lifestyle, your business and lifestyle. Like, it can go in every angle. And I'm going to talk about the phrases, because we're going to use I can't, and we're going to talk about how that shows up in your life, because that's where anxiety, depression come in, And so we'll talk about that also. Let me pick a few of what the first layer of wake up and heal your moxie. This is your first 250,000. But if you show up in an authentic way, you start really healing more of your safety in the world. If you start getting more alignment, this is just one of the 6 steps to get into healing. If you get more in alignment, your body will heal because your nervous system relaxes. So you see where we're going with this? See how if you're a higher percentage in your alignment, you're a high percentage in your authentic space, and you're learning to be more fabulous instead of just great every day. You notice when somebody asks you, how are you doing today? Oh, great. So I'm going to give you the definition of great and then give you the definition of fabulous. And that's the first step. You have to be at a level that's at fabulous, which is a lot to ask sometimes. Do you ever feel like there's like this barricade? You can't even understand even what fabulous means. You're like, oh, my brain is just so out there or numb. And I want to share a story with you, but I'm going to give you some definitions of what fabulous and great are. I'm going to talk to you about the 30% rule, Moxy Rule, but I want you to engage in your 7%, and I'll express what that is. I'm going to go into the I can't area. Yeah. Okay. So how are you doing? Okay, so let's talk about this. The ethics part of your business. I come from an accounting CPA, high structured background, even though I love the Moxy and I love getting in the spiritual space, which we're going to do a meditation at the end of this to kind of bring everything together and kind of we're working on breaking through and shattering those upper limits of what you believe life and what you believe business can be, because we want to open that up for being able to feel fabulous today. Breaking through the I can't, being able to expand your 7% instead of your 30%. I'm going to give those definitions in just a moment. Let me share with you a story about showing up. And this could be if you're running a business and you're doing videos or you're doing interviews or you're going out and speaking, showing up in your life and you're looking at getting a promotion, you're looking at, even in relationships, you want to expand in your relationship area. All things are tethered together. So this is all speaking as one. So keep translating it for yourself. The main clients that I work with, the main ones, but there's some people that are outside of that real. That may be why you're here too, is that I hold space for people that are out there building bigger in their global vision, being able to see themselves outside of their body and really saying, hey, if I look through my eyes only, life is very small and you can only see what's here. But if you step outside of your body, you look around the world and you start thinking about global thought, where does that take you? It takes you into a bigger space and it allows you to look at you and see the gems that you are and maybe how you're holding yourself back. So the people that I coach, I believe in their business, and this may be you, there's ethics and reporting department as part of the hub of your world. There's community, and there's running business and all that. So the ethics is that you are showing up every day, like what you say, you're in more alignment. Alignment is really getting you more into your healing part, like a high healing part of your body. Think about if you're making close to $250,000 and you are close to like a high level of your healing component, because you're right there on the last step before you get to your healing component. If you feel energy, zestiness, sexiness deep inside, not the floozy kind, I can show up other places, but I'm speaking to being there and showing up for yourself, for you. Then when you show up for yourself, people are automatically enthralled in what you're doing. They live every moment of it because they can feel you. So when you go out and you do your reporting, your global vision, I believe we're hashtag speaker locking arms. Whenever we speak, we're locking arms to help support. No blaming, no shaming out there. We first got to do it for ourselves. And know that we got this. Know that things are going to get better. Even if you feel like it's not going to get better, you know that it will because you're using these tools. So if you go out there and you think ethics, you're thinking, okay, I need my alignment. So how I treat you here, I go and I treat my personal relationships like that too. And I go out in there and I treat my business like that also. The empathy and the love that the business needs. And as you're giving it out, you're not depleting yourself because the energy is coming back. And it doesn't have to be equal. You just need to be free with it so you can be open and receive. That's all it is. Open and receive. So let's get into, if you do that, then if you really show up for yourself, there is no wrong. When you're sparkling, others get to sparkle. When you sparkle and you take everybody's energy and you're in your head and you're just living in this, they have to look beautiful and perfect, and you're in this big exterior space. But if you ground it, you're not depleting people. You're not taking away their energy. People come in and they lean in and they love on you because they're loving on themselves. They can see themselves in you because you're displaying a very grounded, like, hey, I love you, welcoming kind of atmosphere. And that's what we need so much these days. Yeah, I feel that. So if somebody's saying that, hey, how's it going? You go, oh, it's going great. The definition of great relative to fabulous, because today we're on the freedom pillar of our before you make 250,000, the Moxy style, that you are looking at how to show up. So if you say, oh, I'm doing great, this is what the definition is: of an extent, amount, or intensity considerably above the norm or average. Hey, man, we see a lot of people at the norm or the average. No, mucky. I want to feel better than that. If you're depressed today, breathe this in. We got this. Because we're going to get you to fabulous. Fabulous. Extraordinary. Especially extraordinary. Large. But with large, you're grounded. So you're bringing all your energy, your gems. It's not way up here. Nobody can get you. But it's like right here. I got you. I got your back. You come up and show up as yourself. I got your back. And this is where you get into your upper limits because you're like, oh, well, whatever. Whatever. What's this whole Moxy thing about, like things like that? Because that's the look I get. Actually, it's more grumpier than that. But I can't. This comes from 10 words and phrases that robbed your sexy, wealthy lifestyle. Totally smears it away for a moment, or like you're never going to get there. And you want to see the people around you and what's going on, because sometimes people, maybe you showed up a way sometimes when you're just like, maybe not very happy of yourself that you did that. When you wake up in the morning, though, you get an opportunity to shed that and to get deeper into your heart, because more consistency of love and support for others is going to start showing up when you give yourself the truth that you have been rocking it all along, but you have been pushing yourself down and you've allowed other people in your life to shut you down. Take responsibility on that too. You want to make sure you're not blaming anybody, because it takes the energy away of your steps moving forward. So let's go into this I can't. When you're saying I can't, your body's already feeling and small. Like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Take a step back. Think about why you're saying that. Because you get to make a choice every time. So if somebody asks you to go do something, you go, oh no, I can't because of, well. But if you say, no, I am going to be working on this, and that's what I need to work on right now. And then later, let's meet up and do this, this, and this. Now you're authentically being straight up. And you're taking ownership that you decided that you're not going to be there. But if somebody said, oh my gosh, do you want to do this? And you go, no, not really. And they go, well, how about if we go get an ice cream? And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so wanting an ice cream. The thing that you thought that was so important, most likely, I'd say about 90% of the time, most likely you're just going to be like, okay, I'll go do that later. Okay, let's go get an ice cream. And you start noticing the difference. You start seeing that there's really a difference here when you start taking ownership. So the I can't, the first step of the 10 sabotages that rob you from energy, from your business, from your gems of who you really are. What do you think about that? It's so funny. No, I'm not going to go there yet. Okay, so let's get into the 30% Moxy Rule, because I want you to expand your 7% actually. And it's based upon these percentages that are broken out and how we really show up. So I'll give you a quick synopsis. So get on your thinking cap or get your journal going. Take a deep breath in. And open it up. How you doing? Let's get those organs moving. Just kind of get your hands. Okay, here's the breakout. It starts with 3%, 7%, 30%, 30%, 30%. It all adds up to 100%. So real quick here. 3%, and this is all about lifestyle and showing up. 3% is that you are just like 100% believing that there's nothing that can stop you, that you can do anything that you want, like 100%. Nobody can talk you out of it. You just know. 7%. You're doing your morning work. You're getting yourself aligned. This is the space for quantum leaping. This is where you're doing your morning work every single day. And you live in that energy. And you can even muscle test your energy saying, hey, am I living in my truth? And you can ask yourself different questions to really talk and communicate to your body, really listen to your body. 7% is when you're really listening to your nervous system. You can feel the upper limits. You can go, here, wait, my nervous system is stressed. Or here, wait, I want to take a nap, but I'm all of a sudden being shut down. Like I have a hard time speaking. But you can hear it. You can make those changes. That's your 7%. Your first 30% as we're going down is that you're doing your morning work off and on. There's some space for quantum leaps, but it happens off and on, not a lot. You're mainly doing your task list. It looks black and white. There's not much happening, but you're having a great day. Maybe fabulous. Maybe fabulous. And you're working on, trying to get to the next level, but you're struggling every day. That's your 30%. You're like, well, that's kind of where I usually live. But the next 30% may be where you live, where you're not doing any morning work, recentering yourself, meditation, spending quiet time with yourself. You're literally doing none of that, but you got your task list in front of you and you're checking it off and you're putting your head down and you're working really hard. You're working now. Your adrenaline is just beating on you. Your nervous system is shaking because you're exhausted. When I was studying for the CPA exam, I kept telling myself that I was not very smart. And my nervous system was like this. When I get up at 4 a.m. because I worked really, really hard, nobody can tell me I can't have something because I was very much in the cerebral and fighting. I was fighting. So I would, at some point, start shaking and I didn't know why. And I didn't even notice it at first because I was living in it constantly. If I wasn't there, I was taking care of the kids or I was at work and I was just like working like a hound dog. But if I would have lifted it, got to the 30% before that, where I'm doing some morning work, or even the 7% before that, where I'm saying I can expand here and do my work every single day and work through my sabotages, work my pillars, the freedom, safety, and healing pillar to get to that next big level of experience. But I kept closing myself off. The last 30% is that everything's black and white. You won't move from that. You won't budge and nothing is right unless you believe it's right. You have full control over that. You're fully in your brain. Your heart, yes, when you're, close to certain people, but you're pretty much closed off. You're not going to get anything done. If we go up to the 3% where we started, listen to this. Sometimes we believe we should be in our day like that 100%. The 3% means it's like godly feeling. Nothing stops you. You have high energy. You're in like 100% alignment, 100% feeling incredible in who you are. Now, if you believe that you should be in that 30%, that 3% all the time, it's going to drop you all the way down to your bottom 30%, where all of a sudden you just like totally croak. You're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted. I can't keep up with this. It's going to drop you all the way to the bottom when you could be closer to the top of your percentile. And I'll talk about this next Monday too on the show, so you get more of it. Now, if we go into the 7%, that's where you can really expand. That 7% was when you can feel your morning work. You can feel the change happening. You can feel the emotional IQ expand. You see where we're going with that? The more you are in the space of expanding, the quicker you're going to get you 250,000. And the plaques are behind me. This is how you get to your next 250 to 500,000. This is where you get to your first million. And sometimes I even do the timeline so you know kind of more about yourself and learn to release more things. You see why these plaques are so important. Oops, sorry. The more that you work your pillars, the more money that will come to you. Do you feel that motivation? Do you want to write anything down on your journal? Anything on your journal that you want to write about that has opened these gems up for you? Where maybe you're in one of those 30% tiles that are all the way, like midway, all the way down to the bottom, 30%, 30%, 30%. You can replay this so you kind of get the breakout there. So if you want to know more about how to work these pillars, I practice in the truth one, which is the top before you get to freedom. And you want to work more on your sabotages and really clearing them, I go into the I can't. I'll give you a link. It's an opt-in, so then you hear more about the Moxy show. And then you also get to practice the tools. And you get the tools so you can work with it 100%. Bring in all the information that you've been learning today and your motivation around that. The step-by-step is not what you need at this level. This is the higher level of growing your emotional IQ. This is where you get to be you and not hide anymore. Let's create more energy around not hiding anymore. No more hiding. Wouldn't that feel great? Seriously great. Everything that you have learned along the way from the 25 minutes we've been together, you can even clear it, this is my heart wisdom, my own essential oil that was created for me. You can spray or put some on, but notice where you're leaving in your threshold now. This is about healing your Moxy. This is where you're going to have gems that download and explain what your next steps are. You want to open yourself up. This is what the Moxy show is about. Opening and creating and thinking at your highest level that you can at this point. Being cohesive with the heart, because the heart is so smart. 40,000 neurons that work just like a brain that's in your heart. Your heart is so smart. People see us more sensitive and they believe something about it. Everyone, we really need this love in our life. The emotions is part of our journey now. Before it was black and white, fake it till you make it, all those things. But that's what was, do you see all the chronic disease out there? Our nervous system is thrashed. Our nervous system talks directly to the cells in the body. Keep up leveling your energy. Keep seeing you. Take a breath in. Bring it down through the back. Now, through the spine is where we have a tremendous amount of nervous energy, our nerve endings. Bring that energy when you exhale, release it down through your tailbone into Mother Earth. Mother Earth will take care of it for you. That will ground you. Bring energy up from Mother Earth, up through the spine. Let the hips relax for a moment right here. Bring it up into your belly. This is where we get to create the serotonin, the love, the heart that we have, the healing for our thyroid, the healing for our body, all the aches and pains right there in the second chakra. Third is about moving forward, working through these things, bring it up into deeper alignment into your heart. Keep yourself open up and through the throat. Open it up. Open it up. Receive, receive. Up through the head. Give yourself space. Create within that eye, that third eye, the pituitary gland. Let's keep healing our body, healing our endocrine system. Bring it up, energy up through the head, up to the universe. A lot of nerve endings for the top of the head. When you're ready, take an exhale, open up through the body, all the way down from the head, all the way down to the feet. Shake it out. Open up the eyes if they were closed. Unleash your moxie. We did it. I appreciate you. Namaste. Catch up with you real soon.